Okay, so now we want to start working on assignment 1. And assignment 1 actually is asking you to create a sketch of a residential kitchen. And the sketch is of the floor plan. And so you're basically going to take measurements of the kitchen that you have in your residence, and you will also do the floor elevation of that kitchen. So originally we're asking you to do this by drawing. I want you to go back and read carefully the assignment requirement. And I'm also going to give you a kind of set of structures on how to do the assignment. But if you read the assignment, you're going to be taking dimensions. So if you refer to the IDT handout 01, taking dimensions, you're going to start taking measurements of your residential kitchen and create a floor plan and 4 elevation sketches of kitchen. Okay, so that's the thing that we want to do, we want you to do, because we're going to take that sketch later on and we're going to import it into AutoCAD. So what's needed in assignment 1, as we said, is the floor plan of a residential kitchen. And this is drawn as a sketch. All right. And of course, this is going to be dimensioned. And we're going to do, we're asking you also to have 4 elevations dimensioned as well. And those are going to be sketches as well. Okay, so those are going to be created, okay, in a title block. Okay, so you're going to create a title block. And you are going to be, you organize your drawings on sheets of 11" by 17". Okay, on, I ask you, I mean, I know that the assignment requirement are in vellum. So if you're going to be using vellum, please make sure that you have a white sheet underneath as well. So when you are submitting those in the format of vellum, I have a white sheet. So when you're scanning those, you actually, I can read them. Okay, because if you put vellum and there is nothing between the sheets, because originally we want 5 sketches. All right, so this means that if 5 of them are on top of each other, I'm not going to be able to see anything. So that's why between the sheets, so this is sheet 1 where you have the floor plan, and this is sheet 2. So here, this is vellum, and there is a white sized, same size, 11 by 17 underneath that, and so on. Okay. The required drawing on sheet 1, okay, is the kitchen plan sketch. And we also have the elevations. So on sheet 2, we want the elevations. And we're going to talk about also a section detailing, so on sheet 3, we want a section of wall and base cabinets. Okay, so those are 4 elevations. And this is basically what we need. So you're going to have 1 drawing, kitchen plan, sheet 2 elevations or 4 elevations of your kitchen. We're going to talk about what if you have a galley kitchen or you have a U-shaped kitchen, and how are we going to remedy the fact that we don't have 4 elevations. And we're going to talk about the section of the wall and base cabinet. All right. So let's start by taking a look at the section that the plan that we're going to be creating for the kitchen and what do we need to include on this. So for the plan, of the residential kitchen, I'm going to assume that we have here, okay, a kitchen that looks as an L shape. Okay, so the kitchen actually looks like that. Those are the cabinets here. And how is this going to be represented? So if I have that sketch, first of all, I need to map the square footage of my kitchen. Of kitchen area. And this is the area where the kitchen cabinets are occupying. So for example, let's say that if I have a wall here, that looks like this. And another wall that is extended like that. Okay, so this is our wall here, and that's a U-shaped kitchen. That's an L-shaped kitchen, and it's open to the other sides. So basically, what I will include is this. I'm just gonna do this as dotted. So this is the area where the kitchen is occupying, which is the base, the kitchen cabinets are occupying the space, all right? So I have the wall here, as I said. And I have the rest of the kitchen cabinets that I'm going to be drawing. Now, I know that this wall is a certain length. Okay, so from here to here, I know that this wall is maybe 3.90 meter, or in inch, or in 12 feet and 10 inches. So this is in meters. And then we're going to, okay, so I took that in measurement again in the metric system. And of course, you know how to convert this into centimeters or millimeters later on. Okay. And maybe I have this. I have this wall here. As 2.6 meters as well. So this is the area that the kitchen is occupying, right? Now for the cabinets, I'm going to take from here to here. If I have an L-shaped kitchen, so I took about 4, and I prefer to use the grid because it's easier, the grid paper, it's easier to actually put things on a sketch. Okay, so this is the cabinets. All right, so now this is the base cabinets, and the base cabinets are basically the cabinets that look like that. Okay, so those are the base cabinets. Definitely there might be drawers somewhere. Okay, there's a cabinet, there's a drawer, cabinet or drawer base, and that's actually, if you take a look at the pamphlet that you have or the sheet, you're going to see that it's written drawer B. Okay, so DB is actually referring to this as drawer base, drawer base. So originally, we know that the side, the width of base cabinets are always 24-inch. Okay, and the width of the wall cabinet is half of that. So if I have a wall cabinet above here, I'm just going to draw it here because it's always easier. So that's a wall cabinet. And this is 12 inches in. And feel free to convert that to metric because we want this to be in metric. We want the whole project that you're going to be doing to be in metric. So if I'm going to convert this, those are 24 inches. Actually, 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters or 254 or I'm sorry, 25.4 millimeters. So as I said, the width of the base cabinet is always 24 inches, and the width of wall cabinet is half that, which is 12 inches. So I know for a fact that those here are, those kitchen cabinets are going to be 24 if they are on the side or if they are extruding like that from both sides. Now, if the kitchen layout, the second thing that you need to note after you put the base cabinet is where are the door openings and where are the window openings. So for example, if I have a window here, all right, I'm just going to delete this part. I should include this. All right, and I should also include this as a dimension. And so I'm going to come here and dimension this after dimensioning the wall. All right, so here, maybe, I don't know, maybe this is 1 meter, which is the window. So I should definitely know that. So I have the overall dimension, okay, and then I have the windows. Now, what if I have here a fridge, for example? So for example, if I have a fridge here, okay, I should put this in and I should indicate the X, which is the here, the length, and I can also put the width if I want to. The next thing that I might have a dishwasher here, or I might have a sink. I definitely need to include the sink here if it's double sink or something. So I'm just going to put this in, show this in the sketch as well. All right, and later on we're going to talk about the those dimensions. Now let's say that if I have, maybe I have a range here or a stove, and I should also include this like that. If it's protruding outside, so it should look something like this, and the burner should also show. Okay, so definitely the drawings, as we said, if I have maybe this was not an open kitchen, maybe, for example, that I have this completed all the way like that and all of the way like this, and maybe there is a door here, I definitely should show this door. And also the size of that door. Maybe this is 3 feet opening or 2 feet 6 inches, and then you have to convert this into the proper. If you're using meters, use meters. If you're using centimeters, again, we're using the metric template. And because we're going to put this in AutoCAD and we're using the metric system in AutoCAD, so if this is in millimeters, then that's going to be great because we need that in millimeters. So it's going to be easier for you to shift from the sketch that you have to if it's in millimeter, you took the measurements in millimeters, 2 millimeters in AutoCAD. The next thing we want to do is we want to know which cabinets are where and how do we put indication of the wall cabinets. As we said, that if I have a cabinet, a base cabinet, like that, this base cabinet is going to be represented here on the floor plan using special designation. So for example, if I have an 18-inch drawer base cabinet, that would be, as we said, DB 18-inch. All right. Now, if I want to make it easier for myself, I definitely can take this 18 and multiply this by 225.4 and get this in millimeters. So this is in inches and I want to get it in millimeter. So I'm surely going to put this in this value. So for example, if I want to come here and represent this on the floor plan, okay, I'm not going to have any lines here because later on I need to represent the wall cabinet, and the wall cabinets actually, because they are smaller in size than the 24, they should actually be represented by a dashed line. So if I have wall cabinets that cover this area and stops here, this thickness here, that is going to be probably 12 inches, as we said, is going to represent that. So that dashed line is going to stop here, and then we have a dashed line here, and then we have another dashed line here. Okay, and maybe I have also another wall cabinet on top of the fridge. This is how it's going to be represented. So the dashed line is reserved for the wall cabinet. Okay, so how is this represented? Now I can do this a couple of ways. Okay, I can come here under the base cabinet, under the sink cabinet. Okay, and I'm just going to put in, I'm just going to zoom in here a little bit so you can see this better. I'm going to put here, okay, SB, and maybe this is 36 inches. So if you measure it and you find that the base cabinet for the sink 36 inches, you're going to write this as I'm showing here, SB 36 inches. Okay. Now, if there is another cabinet, okay, that is a drawer cabinet, maybe it is located here. I'm just going to come here and put DB, okay, for drawer cabinet 24 inches. In your case, since you're doing this in millimeters, you need to provide this in millimeter. Okay. The range, so I'm just going to put range oven in here, so you know that this is an oven, and you need to provide also an indication of how far this extends outside. Okay, so if you open the oven door, how far this extends outside. All right. Now for the wall cabinet, maybe a wall cabinet is 24-inch wide, that is 30 inches high, would be here. That's the indication for it. So that's going to be, I'm sorry, 12 inches wall, okay, 12 and 13 inches high. So that would be W, 12 and 30 inches. Okay, so definitely you need to take care of those. You can also, one of the things that other students I have seen doing is that doing a line here, okay, to separate the cabinets, the base cabinets from each other. So I know, for example, that this is a base cabinet, okay, and that base cabinet is 24 inches, and that, okay, this line here might be easier to define this. Okay, so again, we want all of those information in metric, on millimeters. So I kind of gave you some indication about the standards of those. Here, the wall cabinets, as I said, or those type of cabinets are designated by their width and their height. So that's the width, and this is the height. Okay, have the same thing here for the fridge. For the fridge, it might be that I have, this is a wall cabinet, so I'm going to type wall, and this is 36 inches, and then the height is 15 inches because it is less in height than the regular wall cabinet heights. All right. If I have any islands in here, maybe I have a kitchen island to include here. All right, I'm definitely going to include the dimensions for the between the base cabinet or the sink cabinet and the island. I'm going to definitely include the dimension here for the island itself, so the width and the length. Okay, so and also the dimensions between the opening of the range when it's going to open and the island. All right, so this is a very simple sketch that the more, of course, that you add in terms of dimensions to anything that you have, the more accurate this is going to be on AutoCAD. So again, some students like to basically have this. This is basically where the counter is going to end. And maybe because the kitchen, the sink cabinet is definitely going to look something like that. So okay, I don't want it to look like this, but let's follow what the software is asking. It's going to look something like this. That's the sink right there. And then I'm just going to talk briefly also about the kitchen counter itself, because the kitchen counter itself is going to extend almost 2 inches or 1.5 inch beyond. And that's what we are taking note of right here, is that that's the kitchen counter, which looks something like this in elevation view or in section view. Okay, so the counter that what we are drawing is actually that extended counter, not just the cabinet. And there's something here called the toe kick. Okay, so that's basically how the kitchen base cabinet is going to look like. So from above, that what we see is actually the extension of that counter. Now the this, as we said, this might be the base which is going to look something like this. All right, and we definitely have, as we said, we have the toe kick. Like that. So the sketch for the plan, as I said, the more dimensions that you have is the merrier for it. I'm just going to move this here. Okay. And this is the plan. So we talked about the plan, and we're going to talk about the elevation, and we're going to talk about the kitchen section in just a moment.